Greetings, viewers. I have a 2015 Honda CR-V here, and as I was doing all my maintenance checks and everything, I was checking my battery itself and the charging volts, and I noticed at times that my voltage will drop down to 12 and a half volts, right around battery volts, and it'll stay there and won't move at all while it's idling. And then when I turn on the headlamps, and I believe the blower motor or wipers, the voltage jumps up to 14.3. But right now I have it at idle, no loads, except the only thing loading maybe is the daytime running lamps, and also whatever it takes to keep the engine going. So right now it's at 13.3 volts at idling. So I'll go and I'll turn on my headlamps. Okay, the headlamps are on. Now I noticed an increase of about 1 volt to about 14.29 volts that it reads. And so it's charging at that rate with the headlamps on, plus any other loads that I might put on there, like a blower motor or the wiper blades, perhaps maybe the rear defroster. But as soon as I turn the headlamps off, the voltage will jump right down to jumping down to 13.3 right now. And there's been times when I was watching it would be at 12 and a half, and it would just sit there, wouldn't move. And so I tested it one time. I let it run for a while and just kept the voltmeter on it and was just observing the voltage. And I noticed that it didn't move at all from 12.5, it just stayed right there. So what I did was I did a little research on these systems that they have in these Hondas. I believe, I don't know if it's any other Honda, but the CR-V especially, they say that they have a 2-stage charging system. One low charge for low peak times when there's not a lot of loads being drawn off. It'll just stay at a trickle-like voltage, which will be around 12.5, 12.7, but this is slightly charged a bit higher at the moment. And also I noted here, this also has like a sensor at your negative side battery post, which has a wire connected right here. You see right there it connects, and that actually monitors how much load is coming off the battery. And so that sends information to your electronic control modules and tells them, hey, this battery's drawing more load, we need to step it up a little bit. But now, while I was talking, I've just seen now the voltage dropped down to 12.4, 12.3, staying right there now. And so I imagine that during different peak times that the voltage will step up a little bit when the battery's maybe getting down a little bit, it'll charge it. But the important thing is to watch that it don't get too low. If it does, then we have an issue. But I did check out other CR-V vehicles just like this one, and they also did the same thing. So like I said, during low, I guess, amperage pulls on this, it'll just give you a low voltage. And during high amperage draws, like when I just turned on the headlamps, it'll put it up to 14.3 volts, somewhere in that neighborhood. And so I researched this, and like they said, they have 2 charging systems, one low and then one high for a drawer for higher loads. And so I think when I researched it, I think a lot of mechanics, when they saw this voltage, they said, oh, your alternator's bad, I think we got to replace it. And they put a new alternator in, and then they get the same readings, and they said, uh-oh, what's going on here? And yeah, there's a lot of work to putting alternators in these. It's not that bad, but there's a lot of things you got to do to get the alternator out. So I've replaced a few of them in Hondas where they didn't work at all, and your voltage was way down to 10 volts. And I believe I've read some where they had issues with batteries going dead and not charging properly. But a couple times I noticed it spiked up to 13.3, and now it's back down to 12, just jumping around. And so that's the story on these Hondas. If you're doing any type of diagnosis on these Hondas and you run into something like this, check your headlamps and make sure your voltage goes up to like 14 and a half, 14.3 in that area. If it don't, then we have a charging issue. You may want to start checking with your sensor right here to make sure that's working properly. Normally when you take it out and put it back in, there'll be a change in voltage. A lot of times, from what I researched, if you take that off, your voltage will go up. And so I take it everything's working here, so I'm not going to do anything with this charging system unless, and the battery tested out good too. The battery's not that old in this car, so. And as far as I know, this alternator is charging. It's just the design that Honda made and how they charge your systems in these cars. Now, I'm not sure if other Hondas apply to this, but if you're, I've worked on so many cars and alternators and that I'm used to seeing instant 14.5 volts as soon as you turn the car on all the time. It goes all the time. If it drops any lower than that, then there's an issue with the alternator or something like that. But any questions or comments, just feel free to comment below. And I hope this video maybe helps you if you're trying to solve your CRV issues with charging. And it's still sitting there. I've had this running for like 10 minutes now, and the voltage is hanging right around 12.5. It's not dropping any lower. It's keeping it right at battery voltage. So that way, nothing gets strained. And what they said in this, when I researched this, that they have like a low trickle type volt, and then kind of like a battery charger. When you put a battery charger on your battery, you can set it out to like a 10 amp trickle charge or a lower charge. And if you want to charge it quick, then you set on a higher charge. So I imagine these voltages will fluctuate as you're driving down the road. As demand increases or decreases, it'll fluctuate from 12.5 and it'll go 12.8 and maybe up to 13 like it was earlier. And it's hanging here right around 12.6 right now. And so that's all I have. Hopefully this will solve your issues if you're dealing with anything with Hondas. Okay, well, you guys all have a good evening and take care. Stay healthy too.